Hey guys, welcome back to another Unity tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm gonna show you how to synchronize some audio files over a Unity network. I've already created an audio sync project, imported two audio files just to test our system, and yes, that's basically it. And one thing I'd like to mention before we start, I'm from Switzerland and this is my first tutorial ever I'm doing in English, and it's like the fourth attempt, and yeah, I wasn't really pleased with all the other attempts because my English isn't that good, especially my pronunciation, I think. Yeah, hopefully that doesn't matter for you guys. So let's get started. First of all, we need to set up a basic network system to test our more advanced audio system afterwards. For all of you guys who know how to set up such a system, you can skip to there will be some sort of indication where you have to go. So let's first create a new game object and call this our net. I can't spell today, I'm so sorry. Yeah, let's call it network manager. Let's add a few components here. Network. First, we're gonna add the network manager itself, and then the network manager HUD. Yeah, and as you can see, there are a couple of fields here you can set. We only care about the offline, online scene, and the player prefab. So let's say save our scene. Let's create a new folder, call it scenes, and in here we're gonna call it, I don't know. I don't like to keep calling everything test, but yes. In our build settings we have to add our scene, because otherwise it doesn't work. You can't then drop it on this field. We're gonna drop it on the offline and on the online scene, and yeah, that's basically it for the scenes. It would actually work now, I think, but yeah, we're not gonna test it out. We're gonna create another object, call this player, and we're gonna give him a network identity, set it to local player authority because we want to control this, and yes, then you wanna drag this down here. Drag. I'm sorry. So you have your player prefab, then you can disable this one here, drag this and drop this play prefab to the play prefab field here, and that's basically it. So now if we run this, you see the player gets created. It would also work if you build it and run like 2 clients on this computer, or 3, whatever amount you want. And this does also work for online, I forgot to mention, but we're just gonna do it for LAN because I don't want to set up our master server and all this stuff. Basically, you just have to go to Unity's website and host the server, and then you have to put your project ID to, like, where is it? I think it's on the project settings, player, and up here cloud project ID. Yeah, but I don't want to show how to do this because you can read this up somewhere else. Okay, that's basically it. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna create another folder, yay, and call it scripts. And in this script folder, what you're gonna do is you're gonna create a new, no, not JavaScript, we wanna do this with C#, delete, yes. Create a new C# script, call it audio controller, because we want to have something to set our volume, because it would be like, yeah, really hard to get where sound is played and where not on our computer, because we're running multiple clients on one computer. So we create a new game object, call this audio controller, add the audio controller script. Go to the audio controller script. All we have to do here is we have to say it's using the Unity engine.ui namespace, and in here we're just gonna have, as I said, one function, and it's gonna be public void set volume. We're gonna give a slider as a parameter and call it slider S. And yeah, in here, for all of you guys who didn't know, there is a global static volume variable in Unity in which you can set the application's volume. And yeah, you can access this by audiolistener.volume, and we're just gonna set this to our slider.value. So now we're gonna add not a component, we're gonna add a game object, go under UI, add a slider. Let's resize this a bit, center it, or no, actually let's put it right in the right top corner, because there will be the already be the HUD, the NetWedge Manager HUD. Yeah, and down here we wanna drag and drop our audio controller in. Yeah, we have to create a new event, then drop the audio controller in here, audio controller, set volume, and put the slider in here. I know there are better ways to do this, but yeah, for now it will work, and that's basically what it should. Now it becomes more interesting, I promise you. Create another C# script, audio sync, or whatever you'd like to call this. And yeah, this will be the base of our audio syncing using Unity Engine.networking, because this way you can access the new networking stuff. And public class audio sync extends from network behavior, so we have some access to more advanced functions or more advanced stuff. Yes, we'll set this to require component. The syntax is like require component, some normal brackets. In here you want to say type of, then again some brackets, and there you want to say it does need a audio source. No, audio source. Hello, come on. So sometimes you just have to write it out because it doesn't auto-complete it. I don't know. Yeah, and in here you want to say private audio source, and in the start function we're gonna set this to source is equal to this.get component. I don't even know if you have to use the this, because yeah, it should work without the this too, but yeah. No, not AudioClip, audio source, man. Sometimes, nah. Source equals, yeah, that should basically set up a reference to an audio source, or to the player's audio source, to this object's audio source, I should better say. We don't use the void, we don't want it. Instead, we want to say public void play sound, I guess. Play sound. We're gonna pass in an ID which we want to play, and yeah. Now we have to create a public audio clip array of clips. Yeah, we're gonna call it clips. So we have our public void play sound method. That's just fine, but we now need now it comes to the magic. Yay. We're gonna need a command. A command is basically something you send from a client to the server, and yeah, so you can communicate from the client to the server, reference object, whatever. Correct me if I'm telling something completely wrong. And the command always have to start with cmd, and we're gonna name this cmd send server sound ID. No, I don't know. This uses an integer ID, and yeah, in here you wanna have, we wanna have another function. Now it's the other way around. It's called client RPC. That basically means that the server now sends something back to all the clients. the reference clients object. This has to this function has to start with a RPC and then send sound ID to clients. Integer ID again. You might be thinking, hey, why we're doing all this, but I'm gonna explain it soon. In the play sound, you wanna call the CMD send server. Let's first do a check. Let's just do a real quick check. If ID is is greater or equal 0 and ID is smaller than clips.length. Now in this command we want to call the RPC function, pass in the ID, and then in the RPC sound ID to clients. I know it's an awkward name, but yeah. We're gonna say source.play one shot and say clips. You could do this by setting the clip and then play the clips ID, because this will the clips audio clips must be the same array on all the clients. If you change something there, it will work, but then it will play like other audio sources, audio files, and yeah, you'll play the right number, the right ID, but you'll play the wrong audio file, if you get it. Yeah. Now in the public play sound, let me explain this real quick. In the public sound, we're checking if the ID, if there's even a sound file with this ID. Then we're gonna send a command to the server. Then the object on the server responds and sends it to all the other clients and sends it back. Yeah. So everyone gets the information at the end, or in the end, I don't know. And yeah. So that's basically it. I think now the only thing we need is something to call this function. In here we want to create a. Oh, there's still a mistake there, but we're gonna fix it. So what we want to call it? Shoot. Let's call it. Let's just call it shoot. I think that's good for now. The shoot. Let's go back to the audio sync. And let's fix this. You have to pass in the idea in the CMD server sound idea, line 17. Let's copy this require component, put it here. And this requires component type of audio sync. Yeah, oops. No, I didn't want this. Hell, come on. What's wrong with you? The audio sync, yeah. So this will require audio sync, which will require the audio control, an audio source, so that should work just fine. Now, up here we want to set a reference to the audio source, to the audio sync. The audio sync script, because we don't want to get it every time. That would be a waste of resources. So in our start, let's get rid of this comment here. In the start function, we want to set audio sync equals to this.get component audio sync. Now we have the reference, and down here it doesn't really matter how you do this, but let's just say if is local player, we have to first say we're using Unity engine networking, and in the we have to extend from network behavior again, and then we can check if is local player, which means that this object is currently controlled by us and not by the server or it's not a object from another player. So Yeah, it's somehow really hard to get it, but if you once got it, then yeah, you'll understand. But there are other tutorials which explain this better. So if it's local player, if input input.get key down, let's just say we're gonna check if key A is down. No, let's say key Q is down. You can even do this with the mouse, it doesn't really matter. Audio sync dot play sound, and we're gonna do play sound ID 0, else if input.get key down, key code. Now why is it always key code dot w, sorry. Yeah, that's if you speak German, then you always mess up with V and W. Audio sync dot play sound, and let's play sound 1, and just to test if our system, our small system, that does work, input dot get key down, key code dot k code whatever dot e, and then we want to play audio sync dot play sound -1, just to test if there isn't an error if we do that. So it should now, yeah, there are no errors any longer. That's just fine. What we have to do is we have to apply this shoot script to our player, and it comes with the audio source, the audio sync, and the shoot script just fine. Now we want to set the clip size to like 2, and yeah, we want to freeze this for a moment. Audio files, drag and drop those 2 audio files in here. And now what you want to do is you want to enable this, apply, disable, I'm sorry, and delete the player, because we don't need this any longer. And yeah, now you can basically say, you now can basically build this. I've already set up where it has to build it, and yeah. And just to test, we're gonna start another one of them. So we have 3 clients, and yes, let this be the host, and just test it out. Yeah, there we go. You can hear there's the shot sound playing, and if we press E, it doesn't play any sound, which is good. And yeah, now let's join the server. And why is there no... Oh, I think I know why there's none of these sliders. We have to fix this real quick. This might be set to the wrong position. I wanted to set this to the upper right corner. Now let's build this again. And let's test it. So let's host another server. Let's mute this. Yeah, there we go. You can clearly see that there is the slider. Let's play. So we're gonna join the server. We have muted this one. And if we... So basically, if we shoot here... No, actually we have to switch to this. And if we shoot here, it should play on this client. And there we go. Yay, you can hear it. You can definitely hear it, that there's something going on. And we can join with a third one and mute this too. So if... Yeah, let's... So... Yeah. Yeah, spam. I'm sorry, but yeah, you can see it does work. So yeah, that's basically it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. You can leave a like. I really appreciate all of your support. And if you didn't understand something, then yeah, you feel free to ask down in the comment section. And yeah, that's basically it. And if there are any major mistakes I made in this tutorial in terms of language, then please let me know, because I'm interested in improving my English skills. Bye!